Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some crazy news, because if you guys do or do not know, there is a huge meeting of all the big regulators and all the really big higher-ups when it comes to the world and economy when it comes to Microsoft. And there has been a lot more brand news. I know, thankfully, it's not the same old. We have seen huge leaps, huge brand new news, and as well, some other big companies now in support. We're actually now seeing like the overall just complete ignoration of Nintendo. A lot more details coming out from these plans, and everything is still in this really awkward limbo where I was just kind of patiently waiting, like looming over a corner, trying to figure out if this deal's actually go through. Now, as of right now, we're kind of watching stuff pretty closely because it's been quite a few months, but this is like that big, like final quarter right now. And we'll still have a lot more information these next few weeks, obviously, but this is where stuff actually matters. This is where decisions are being made. This is where those final big key points are being pushed. And right now, that's why we're seeing news on Nintendo and Nvidia and all these other various companies coming out and discussing and or supporting their deals, their contracts, and everything in between. So we actually have some pretty good news to come out over here, so let's go and talk about it. As well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below if you guys want to follow. I'm on the current conquest to hang out with every VTuber on Twitch, so hey, if you guys want to see that, feel free to. Also, the Target links and Amazon links down below, and as well, I think I have a date going on, so after you guys see this video, wish me good luck in the comment section down below. So first and foremost, we are seeing some huge news when it comes to these acquisitions. It's gonna be a lot, so bear with me. Number one, Microsoft is making this huge push these past few days now with the case for the Activision merger amid the EU scrutiny. So as of right this past few seconds, we've had Nintendo that has now been officially like signed on and locked on in with Xbox. It's a very big deal, and it's a 10-year proper deal with a lot of speculation on the upcoming next Nintendo console, and basically what's going to go and happen with that, the games, more Xbox games coming to Nintendo as well. We're seeing all of this, but one of the bigger news over here is that Nvidia, you guys know the really big, like, 4090s, 4080s, and also the Nvidia like GeForce streaming, cloud hosting, and all their huge partnerships have also again made a combination and kind of contract to work now with Xbox. So basically Nvidia's also now kind of joined the team on the Xbox side, trying to persuade the European regulators to approve this massive plan with the big game publishing giant. So basically, big thing for this was there was a huge meeting now with the European antitrust, and these are all the big regulators that basically decide if this deal goes through or not, and they're going to have a huge closed-door meeting that happened on Tuesday with all these executives from Microsoft. We have all the competitors, including Sony and everyone from Google, and as well other big companies such as Nintendo, Nvidia, and almost everything in between. It's been a very kind of crazy, like, imagine like all the most important people in the gaming universe all put together in one room with a bunch of other regulators to basically go and sit there and formalize and or dissuade a deal from happening. So Microsoft announced a 10-year agreement now with the chip maker Nvidia to bring Xbox games to Nvidia's cloud gaming service. Nvidia's actually been basically growing a lot in the cloud gaming hub, and it's actually where they're making a lot more revenue on their hosting and also like just basically working with game companies. As you guys know, Nvidia also does a lot of like the cloud storage type stuff, similar to how Xbox does it with the Azure and everything else. So Microsoft has also said, it's also now on that similar deal, which we covered in a prior video, with Nintendo too as well, formalizing the commitment they made before. But still, as of right now, the last big looming on this big deal is on Sony. Sony still has not had a proper additional agreement. Although as of right this second, a lot of folks are speculating between, is this deal going to happen? Is it not going to happen? Well, what is going on in between? Do we know? Do we not know? Is it going to be good, bad, or ugly? Is it going to pass? Is it not? That's what people are worried on. We've been seeing rumors of people having like Jim Ryan flying across the entire world to do these back deals. We have them go to Seattle potentially to go hang out at Microsoft. And as of right now, it does seem like Sony is kind of still concerned. The European Commission and 27 nation bloc's executive arm has been investigating whether the merger would distort fair competition to popular Activision Blizzard game titles. It's scheduled to make a decision as of now by March 23rd. This will probably be a really big decision we'll be watching very closely, so obviously subscribe if you guys are new. Microsoft first announced the agreement to buy the California-based game publisher early last year, but has also been stalled with all these really big deals too as well. Microsoft's president Brad Smith said at a Brussels news conference after meeting with regulators on Tuesday that he was not in a position to say exactly what was said in the hearing room, but emphasized that Xbox has a much smaller share of the market than PlayStation does in Europe, and asserted that the deal would be good for the industry by bringing more games to the people. Now, we're going to talk about that too, because right now he's trying to highlight the fact that, well, apparently it's very small. A big thing to kind of go note too is we're seeing this. where now we're seeing the exact numbers where when it comes to this ongoing deal, they made a huge point when it comes to the market share of Sony compared to Xbox and other regions. So a big thing to kind of note over here, Redmount Firm declared that Xbox has a global market share of literally only 30% compared to PlayStation's vastly superior 70% market share, which is two things to note. As the article even mentions too, apparently they just are not even assuming that Nintendo is literally even a thing. If you guys don't know, I would probably round up Nintendo consoles as a console. I'd also probably round up to Steam and the Steam Deck, although it's more so kind of based on PC technology. That does at least have a somewhat decent share because there has been a few million Steam Decks sold as of now. Same with the Nintendo Switch, which is in the hundreds of millions. So it almost kind of seems like Xbox is trying to skew the numbers a little bit to make it kind of seem that, well, things are a little bit different. I don't know, they kind of make them seem like a little bit smaller than they are. So Microsoft didn't stop there with the cold hard numbers. It said in Europe, the split is 80-20 in Sony's favor. So this is them trying to be like, hey, the European Union right now, you guys are worried about the antitrust laws and everything in between. Guess what? We're not as big as you guys expect. Like Microsoft might be big, but for this one like specific gaming conglomerate, we're way smaller than expected. And that's kind of intriguing numbers. Although I'd really want to go and see if it sounds better or worse if you also include Nintendo. Because a 70-30 split, yeah, that seems rough, but if you kind of go and maybe factor in like a 50 Nintendo, 30 Sony, 10 Xbox, which just by how well the Switch is sold almost literally everywhere, it's also been out for more years too, don't forget about that, that would actually maybe make sense. And that would actually probably make Sony's kind of deal sound a little bit more normal. Like if you're like a 30% going against a 40%, you don't want that 30% to go down, and then maybe that 40% goes bigger. It kind of goes like, so like Nintendo maybe becomes like a larger company in terms of market share, especially with known to like Super Nintendo, Switch Pro, etc. So Microsoft didn't just stop there with the cold hard numbers though. It said in Europe, the split was 80-20 in Sony's favor, and it added that the PlayStation 5 outsold the Xbox by a ratio of 69 to 31% towards the end of last year, kind of showing on how much we've had a massive in-stock of PlayStations and consoles and everywhere in between. So even how unbelievably aggressive the Japanese giant has been with its marketing in 2023 thus far, we can only imagine the gap is continuing to increase. So this is why, like, once again, these are getting some kind of crazy deals, because now we're still watching the stuff. They're trying to go and claim that Sony is like a massive unstoppable beast, and the PlayStation has been doing very well, but it also kind of goes against Sony's kind of big deal, or one of their biggest games still is all Call of Duty, and they need to have a proper good deal that they don't want to stop at 10 years. Some people are okay with it. It's kind of like if I could offer you $50 right now, you'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? But let's say you can go and sell make $500 by just knowing me, you might be a little bit more skeptical, might be like, well, why is it not, $250? Or you want to cut a deal, like, why not just give me $500 over the next, 20 years and try to get something a little bit better? Seriously, Phil Esler as well, though, on a support point, the vice president and general managers of NVIDIA's GeForce Now segment said that titles such as Call of Duty will not be available on NVIDIA's services, though, unless Microsoft acquires Activision. So they're almost trying to say, like, we're actually going to get a better deal, because right now we have no proper contract tied on in with Activision, so guess what? We can go and at least kind of have access to Call of Duty. So Call of Duty will be available on NVIDIA's services unless they go and cover this one, but if Microsoft owned these other titles, such as, say, Minecraft, or maybe like a Redfall or whatever, they actually could be covered immediately under this brand new 10-year license agreement, and that kind of seems like they're trying to push that with Nintendo and everything else. We were a little concerned about it at the beginning, as we said of the Microsoft Activision deal, but then we reached out to Microsoft, and they were very open about wanting to enable cloud gaming, which is once again what they're making a lot of money on for Nvidia, and they want to expand it to in the future, and work with us on a 10-year license agreement. So over time, they made us more and more comfortable with it. Eisner said Nvidia is not paying Microsoft for access to the titles, which is the same arrangement the company has with other gaming companies such as Fortnite, maker Epic Games. Instead, Nvidia's 25 million customers will need to go pay Nvidia for access to his cloud gaming platform and then pay Microsoft for its games. So they're basically just having almost like a really good licensing deal that they can make money off of this as well. So basically, shares of Microsoft fell 2%, Nvidia dropped 3%, Activision fell 0.0% in the broadly lower market on Tuesday afternoon. Nvidia has now once again then confirmed it's supporting the Xbox maker's bid for Activision, but the deal is, once you guys kind of know, is still still a hard sell on all these regulators. Regulators are still not happy. They're still trying to go and potentially block it. And right now we're still in this huge up in the air, depending to see on what Sony's going to end up doing with, well, this deal, like what they have to say. So right now we're still in this huge limbo, but it does seem like a lot more information is coming out. A lot more companies are supporting this, and I want to hear your thoughts and comments down below. As well, if any of you guys are brand new, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch stream down below. We have the Target and Amazon links too, and I appreciate you guys always so much for watching. I'll have some more videos all throughout today.